Good morning, dear students, and welcome back again to my channel. Today, we are going to do a quick revision of the poetry Keeping Quiet for class 12 CBSE board exams. So, let us see what we have today about the poet, introduction, theme, summary, explanation, and finally the discussion questions of assignments, important questions. So, without wasting much time, let us start with a revision of this poetry. What we have on the first page, of course, about the author. As you can see, the writer is Pablo Neruda. The pen name was Neftali Ricardo Reyes Basalto was the full name of the writer, and his pen name was Pablo Neruda. Right? He was born in the town of Paral in Chile. Then Neruda's poems are full of easily understood images which make them no less beautiful. Actually, it is a truth that all his poetries are quite very simple. You can understand them without the help of anyone, without the help of any explanation. They have been written into the most simplest form of language because he wanted people to understand the narrative he wanted to portray. He wanted people to be connected with him, with the world. And thus, that is the theme of our today's poetry, also, Keeping Quiet, where he is just simply urging for the humanity to give him some time, spare time, through which he can deliver a single message of peace, prosperity, brotherhood, introspection, and retrospection. So without wasting much time, once again, let us move on to the next page. And as I've told you already, they will not ask you much about the poet in the question paper. They might ask you the name of the writer. Apart from that, nothing else is going to come. But yes, you must know about the background so that you can connect with the poetry. That is why the background of the author is important to be understood. Keeping quiet, the poem reveals about the consequences of inhuman acts. We are being told through this poetry from the side that how humans are inhuman and they are themselves responsible for all the destruction which is happening in the world today. Although this poetry was written a long time ago, but yet the content of this poetry is true for what is happening in today's world. And to your amazement, before COVID, whoever has read this poetry, they might never have been able to imagine what this poetry is trying to say or what the poet wants from the people to do can be real or not. But after the COVID, something has happened which has changed the narrative of this poetry, changed people's understanding of this poetry because whatever the poet was proposing actually happened during the COVID time. Let us see how this poetry is so much significant that it completely changed before COVID and post COVID, pre and post. Yes. So here we are going to discuss about the poet is deeply concerned about the violence, cruelty to animals, plight of manual workers. He offers a very simple solution to all these problems, and that was self-introspection before doing any work and retrospection. What accounts or what is the accountability of our actions towards the world? Just two simple things: self-introspection, retrospection, and then do your work as it is. Then he advocates the necessity of quiet introspection as it can develop a feeling of mutual understanding among all the human beings. Then, if self introspection is acted upon, it will be the first major step towards uniting people, universal brotherhood. How? Let us see. Through the lines of the poetry, you will be able to understand much better. But before that, let us first discuss the theme. The theme of this poetry is, I have told you already, self introspection, peace, harmony. Sub theme is universal brotherhood, everyone together. The speaker narrator is the poet himself, like a messiah, giving a message to the world of peace. Moving forward, these are the lines of the poetry, and I would love to explain you word by word. So just listen to it, and you will understand everything. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. Here, why the writer has used this word 12. So 12 signifies completion of time as there are 12 hours in a clock, in a time. And once again, 12 signifies 12 months of the year. So it signifies the completion of time. So it may be 12 seconds, it may be 12 hours, it may be 12 months, it can be anything. But here, this particular 12 signifies that for just for few seconds or just for few minutes, listen to what I have to say, propose to all of you. It is like as if you have got an opportunity to deliver your message to the world, and they all will listen to you. So what he say, like hypnotizing the people, now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still, everyone silent. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. He wants the world to be quiet for that time being when he is delivering this message. Can you imagine that languages are the ones which create barriers among us, among human beings? And once on the face of the earth, if all the humans can be silent, what you have experienced during the COVID time, all languages vanished away. We were only human beings, all together in a single time. Let's not speak in any language. So we basically break away the barrier of language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. Here, it can be a literal meaning. Stop all the activities and sit down and relax. Or it can have a different meaning, which means not using arms and ammunition. Do not do any destruction of the world. For that one day, for that some time being, and just listen to the author, what he want to propose. Then it would be an exotic moment. What would be an exotic moment is a question which will come for 1 marks. The exotic moment will be no rush, without engines, no cars on the road, no pollution, what we have seen during the COVID. That is why I told you that post COVID, the meaning of this entire poetry has come true for us, and we understand this poetry much better now. Because pre COVID, nobody has ever imagined that the entire world can come to a full stop, to a pause for some time, and everyone can be at their home with their families, and everyone can think about betterment of humanity. All can come together to fight against a single one disease which was hurting the entire world. That's why this poetry makes more sense today. So he says, without rush, without engines, this is the exotic moment because everyone will be together. We would be all together in a sudden strangeness. S and S has been repeated in these two words. So sudden strangeness over here is alliteration. Okay. Sudden strangeness, suddenly, strangely, everyone coming together, which cannot be imagined. But yes, if can be done, will be a drastic change in our lives. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm the whales for that one day. He want nobody to harm the whales. He is asking the fishermen to stop hunting the whales, and it is symbolic of all the people who are harming the animals. For that one day, stop harming them. That's what we have seen during the COVID time itself. That when people were staying back at their homes, when everyone is inside the houses, all the marine life, all the natural environment was thriving literally. Then same way, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hand. Hurt hand is alliteration. Man gathering salt is symbolic of all the workers in the world. For that time being, let the workers also relax and look back at the wounds they have created on their bodies because of working non-stop. So he also want this particular people, a group of people, the workers, the laborers, to also relax for that time being and understand themselves. Then those who prepare green wars, wars with gas and wars with fire. This question will come for 2 marks. What kind of wars the author is talking about? So as you can see in the images, the green wars reflects towards this particular part, cutting of trees, deforestation. War with gas, if you can see over here. So wars with gas, atomic explosion and many other kind of things people are being doing. And wars with fire is destruction of nature, destruction of the world by exploding the world. So all these are basically the form of warfare. So he want no war to be there for some time being. Let all the soldiers sit down, relax. No war in the world. So what he say? Victory with no survivor. What kind of wars are these? Yes, you win, but what are you getting in return? Nobody is alive. Everyone is dead. Russian war with Ukraine. What has happened? Entire Ukraine has been destroyed completely. Same way what has happened with Gaza. So many people have been killed. So whatever, you can just pick up the history of wars and you will find out nobody is winning in actuality. We are seeing victory with no survivors. Ashoka realized that thing up long time back. After the war of Dholi, he realized there is nothing good about wars and he left it, become a Buddhist. I think that same message is over here by Pablo Neruda. Then would put on the clean clothes and walk with their brothers, whom he is proposing over here. All the soldiers for one day put on white clothes, peace, and just walk with the other soldiers of other countries. And for that one day, no fighting, no one is endangered by the other soldiers, no bombing, nothing. What a beautiful moment it is going to be, world peace. Then in the shade, doing nothing. For that time being, let the soldiers also live their life peacefully. They have been exhausted so far for so many years. Why not give them that time to just reflect back on what they are doing? Next, moving towards the second last paragraph, what I want should not be confused with death. As you can see in the picture itself, he is not considering it to be death, that stop living your life and die. What he wants is silence. As you can see, he is proposing silence over here, not death. So we can see it in this slide also. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. No, he do not want us to stop living our life. Like in COVID, we did not stop. We were at home, but we were working, right? So life is what it is about. Life will keep on moving. Nobody can stop life. Nobody can stop things from happening. I want no truck with death. This is the only intention of the writer. He did not want people to die unintentionally for no reason at all, for people, by people itself. So if we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, why he's proposing this solution? Can we humans not understand this easily? No, because we are single-mindedly running towards a goal of achieving and accumulating wealth and prosperity, everything for ourselves. And in this mad rush, what we have done, and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness, because we have done much harm to ourselves by this rush. And that's why he's proposing this huge silence, maybe an interruption in between, because you will think. And when you will come back again to your workplace and everything after COVID, people become more conscious about life. They become more respectable towards life. That's what the poetry is proposing. Finally, might interrupt the sadness of never understanding ourselves. This is what we have been doing with ourselves, running, rushing, goal, achievements, and all that thing. But where are we? What have we really achieved inside? Are we really happy with what we have done so far with our lives? That's the question. And of threatening ourselves with death, yes, of course, we have been doing that for a long time now. Finally, the last part of the story is of the poetry is perhaps you can learn the lesson from the earth. It can teach us when everything seems dead. You can see over here in this picture, everything is seems dead because of course it is barren in the winter time. Everything is covered with snow. When everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Once again, after every winter, after every this thing, when there's no nothing over there growing over there, comes the spring season when once again the life grows back. Once again the hopes come back. Same thing, introspect. Stop maybe for some time. Does not mean you have lost. Restart is the word which you want to say. Then now I will count up to 12 and you all will be quiet and I will go. And once again, he is bringing back people to their own life itself. I'll come to 12. You guys can once again open your eyes and bye bye. That was the poetry, Keeping Quiet. I hope all of you have understood the line by line explanation. Moving forward, summary, I don't think you need to understand now. As you can see on the screen itself, you may pause the video and may have a look at this particular summary part. Then moving forward, these are the points to ponder. Whatever has been highlighted are the words which I've explained you. Stop for 1 second, without rush, without engine, fisherman, man gathering salt are the keywords over here which will come as RTC questions and may be asked. So you may be able to answer all these questions by looking at the screen. You will understand what kind of questions CBSE will put you in the form of RTC. Poetic devices is important. As you can see, first one is alliteration. We will, we would, his hurt hand, clean cloth. All these words are examples of alliteration. Repetition, without rush, without engine, wars with gas, wars with fire. So the words without, war has been repeated, repetition. Then imagery, the cold sea. The sea is not cold. It is the human beings' intentions which are cold. They are bad, not the sea. Then symbol, earth is the symbol over here, inspiration for new start of the life. Fun, not move our arms so much. Here the word arms has been used not for hands but for weapons, so it is a pun, right? Using same word to reflect about some other word. Rhyming scheme is free words, it does not follow any rhyming scheme. Finally, the assignment questions. What does the fisherman not harming whales actually symbolize? It symbolizes, for one time at least, humans should stop hunting or harming the animals for no reason. Overfishing is happening, overkilling of animals is happening, and what is it resulting into? It is resulting into global warming, it is resulting into lost extinction of many species of animals and birds and so many other things. Then, how can the idea of war and vanquished be negated by self introspection, by sitting in peace with other soldiers and just doing nothing? How do you know the poet is not advocating complete inactivity and death? Because in those lines he has told life is as it is. What I want should not be confused with death. He just do not want a load of deaths, or he do not want people to kill themselves unnecessarily. Then what is the sadness that the poet refers to? So sadness is of never understanding ourselves in this over rushing life of ours. What will counting up to 12 and keeping still help us achieve? Help us achieve conscious decision making power, reflection upon our actions. That's what the poet wants. Then what symbol from the nature does the poet invoke? The symbol of winter and spring as earth. Let's not speak in any language. Explain this term. I have already told you, let's not speak in any language reflects to each and every one of you becoming humans only, irrespective of which country, religion, culture, creed, race we belong to. If we do not use any language, what will happen? We all will be just humans. No tax whatsoever. Why does the poet say that keeping still for some time would be an exotic moment? Because of course there will be no pollution, no movement, and the earth will thrive for some time. We'll get some relaxation for some time. Finally, victory with the note survivors means it is a word juxtaposition of itself. Victory, but at the same time without survivor. It means those words which are meaningless. Then justify the title of the poetry, which is keeping quiet. Of course, the entire theme is talking about keeping quiet itself. It is justified. Then, what do you understand by life is what it is about, which means nobody can ever stop life. Nobody can ever like put a pause on the earth. But we have seen in the COVID time it happened. And yet the life is moving back again. But for that, a lot of time was given to us to introspect and retrospect. So that was the poetry, keeping quiet for all of you. I hope my children have understood everything of this poetry. And if you have liked this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.